Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Today, we are going to play you one of the very few in existence, actually, tape recordings of a UFO encounter, which is one of the most mysterious cases of one of these close encounters that has ever been recorded or spoken about, but it's likely that many of you have never heard about it. So basically, this happened on a misty and very cold morning on March 17th, 1981, and this has come to be known as the Columbia River sighting. So again, on March 17th of 1981, early in the morning, Sergeant Russell Yoakum of the St. Helens, Oregon Police Department was driving on patrol on Highway 30 west of the Columbia River, and this is in a small town about 20 miles northwest of Portland. At 4:03 a.m., Yoakum's attention was drawn to a very bright light, orange light, that was moving upriver toward the Portland airport 20 miles away. Now, it was noted by the officer that this light seemed to be moving slightly toward the Portland airport, and that aircraft passed over this area regularly on their way to the airport. However, this light was extraordinarily bright, completely lighting up the entire river as if it was daylight. And Officer Yoakum was immediately convinced that the light was not from an aircraft. So he radioed headquarters and drove on to St. Helens to look at the light from a county courthouse on the banks of the Columbia River, which afforded a clear view of the UFO. Now, other law enforcement officers, Ricky Cade and Tom McCartney of the Oregon State Police, and a few citizens met Yoakum at the county courthouse. By this time, Yoakum was in radio contact with Donald Askins, who bore the CB handle Lucky 13. Askins, who was located in a house across the river in Washington State, southeast of St. Helens, had picked up the police radio traffic. He said that he too had seen the light and was seeing it now. The light was apparently stationary over the river, turning the whole area into daylight. So there was initial confusion as the officers in St. Helens described the light to Askins. They claimed that it was bobbing up and down. Askins insisted that the light he saw was stationary. Later, it was proved that the light the officers saw during the first moments of the sighting were from a man-made light on Sauvie Island across the river, which had created the bobbing effect. Finally, after understanding their confusion, the officers turned and looked to the south, where they saw this light that Askins was watching. It was low and it was standing out starkly over the river, where at that time there were only a few faint lights. So this man Askins heard the light emitting an eerie, extremely loud sound, and the officers set up a portable tape recorder 18 inches from their police radio to record their conversation and the sound of the UFO, should it reoccur. Askins volunteered to dangle his CB microphone out of the window of the rented house he was in so that he could transmit the sound to the officers. The police drove to a nearby high bluff that gave them an excellent view of the UFO. The ensuing 30 minutes, recorded on tape and presented to the J. Allen Hynek Center for UFO Studies for analysis, presents a fascinating real-life drama of puzzled human beings attempting to understand this unknown craft. Now, the tape does not indicate who was speaking, but the excitement is palpable. So we will play you a segment of that tape now, where you will hear the officers describing through the CB radio recording this bright UFO lighting up the night sky, making it look like daylight. And finally, you will hear this loud, screeching sound begin completely overtaking the entire recording as this UFO passed over the officers. So take a listen, and we will come back afterwards to continue about what happened afterwards and the continued mystery that surrounds this very eerie and mysterious sighting that cold March morning.
Hey, Lucky. So we got a tape recorder sitting there by our radio whenever you're ready. We'll keep her running. If it starts up again, just key up and We all have screw loose. Got water. All go to bed. Yeah, TS, all it is now is just an orange glow. That's all I can see. That's all you can see from that? You guys still watching on the other side of the river there? Yes, sir. Just an orange glow. Where did it go to? Up to the river or what? The sun is coming up. Better not be. It's awful early. Awful early for the sun paper, Joe. I don't think the sun would just be in that one spot. I'm at the glow, which we can see now. Looks like the breaking of the sun. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, I'm going to be 10-7. I'm going into J's here. Chicken. I don't know if chicken is just smart. The latter, you're probably a lot smarter than we are there, kid. Okay, we'll catch you later. I think it's moving out, you guys. Oh, we'll watch it. We moved up to a higher vantage point, so you tell us what it does. We moved up to a higher vantage point, so you tell us what it does. Well, listen. Sounds like it's revving up its engines. Can you hear it? It's sure cold out here. I hope you're taping this, you guys. Yes, we are. To me, a power plant diesel motor and a screeching noise in between it there, or with it. Okay, yeah, we're listening. 4:29 a.m. Just for the record.
So, as you just heard, some amazing and seldom known about recording of this UFO passing above these policemen, recorded on tape. And as you heard, the officers spoke about how the object was lighting up the river and looked like the sun. However, it was way too early for the sun to be out. And you also hear them remarking as it's going over that it sounded like, quote, it was revving up its engines, and that it, quote, sounded like a power plant diesel motor. Now, after the light, quote, powered down, one officer heard it quietly humming for another 14 minutes. And for another 14 minutes, the officers, citizens, and Lucky 13 watched the hovering light. Then at 4:43 a.m., the light went out. One officer said that the light made a funny whistling sound before it went out. He said, quote, "We heard whatever it was go off, or quit doing whatever it was doing there. The Coast Guard confirmed that they did have it on radar and it did go down." He then said, quote, "I definitely seen it disappear, and all of a sudden there was a big funny noise." So, what was this light and sound over the Columbia River? It was found that the officer said the light was spherical, showing no structure that they could see. He said it was orange and red in color, and hovered between 80 and 100 feet above the river, reflecting light off of the water, causing it to look like daytime over the river. They said that the estimated size of the light was about 30 feet in diameter. They then ruled out the possibility of it being the moon, which was moving in the wrong direction, or possibly a dope smuggling boat, which was implausible, because why light up the area like that? a balloon or a hallucination, as there were way too many observers, respectable observers, including policemen. So the analysis of the sound recording displayed two very strong peaks, or fundamentals, at about 1,000 and 3,000 hertz, with no even harmonics in the sound. When the tape was played backwards, the data does not change. Both Askins and Officer Yoakum heard the sound change pitch, like a turbine winding down, before it vanished at 4:43 a.m. And they basically said that this UFO blinked out of existence. So they had no idea what this thing was or where it went. The sighting caused such a buzz in the local media. However, when no answer was forthcoming, as with usual UFO sightings, the story died away. And all we are left with years later is this story and this very amazing tape recording. So again, it's very, very interesting. A lot of the information about this story you can find online. There's an article about it written by a Mr. Greg Long, who does contain more of the recording and has kindly created a text version of what the officers are saying in the recording. However, you can simply research Columbia River 1981 UFO sighting, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. It's very mysterious, and we will post some more videos in the future featuring sightings like this that have been long forgotten, and any possible recordings or evidence that we have to go with it, because you know, these sightings have been going on long before there was YouTube, long before there was the internet, and long before any of us even knew that they were happening. So again, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe on your way out. I really appreciate it. And stick around because we've got a lot more coming. Stay safe, guys.